Hi, I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read Arnie the Doughnut. Storyline online. Arnie the Doughnut. Arnie turned out to be just like the kind of doughnut he'd hoped he'd be. Chocolate covered with bright colored candy sprinkles. Look at my ore sprinkles. There must be a million for them. Actually, there are only 135, but I'm not going to spoil it for him. He was made very early in the morning at downtown bakery, home of the best doughnuts, around. Around? Get it? Arnie was proud to be one of the best. He knew that people all over town made special trips to his bakery to buy doughnuts of their best. As Arnie sat on his tray, which had just been placed in the doughnut, he took a moment to reflect on the amazing things that had happened to him that morning. Cut into rain. 2. Deep fried. I'm soaking in boiling grease, but I love it. 3. Cooled. You drink it, sir? Thank you. 4. Iced. Who's that handsome doughnut? That's me. 5. Sprinkled. Caution. Sprinkle area. Must wear safety goggles. 6. Named. Whatever I named, I'm going to go by cool iced tea. Arnie looked around and saw all sorts of doughnuts sitting nearby. Beer knew. Hey, I'm a muffin. I'm a different kind of muffin. He tried to strike up a conversation with an apple fritter on the next tray over, but she didn't seem to want to talk. It is rather early. Maybe she's not a morning doughnut, Arnie supposed. It was 6 a.m., and the baker had just hung the open sign in the window. Arnie was fascinated as he watched customers stream into the bakery. One by one, doughnuts were chosen, placed in paper bags, and whisked away with their new owners. Some went by a dozen in giant boxes. Goodbye, Arnie yelled to each doughnut. Have a good trip. This is so exciting. I wonder who will choose me. Just then, Arnie looked up and saw a man pointing right at him. Before he could say another word, he was pulled from the tray and placed in a paper bag. Thank you, Mr. Bing. Have a nice day, Arnie heard the baker say to the man. Mr. Bing, that's a fine name, Arnie decided. I can hardly wait to meet him. Goodbye, Arnie. We will miss you. I should have talked to him while I had. That the ride to Mr. Bing's apartment was a little bumpy. Arnie was grateful for the soft napkin the baker had so softly placed under the. He had never ridden in a car and wished he could look out the window to see all the sights. Finally, the car came to a stop and they were home. Mr. Bing carefully removed Arnie from his paper bag and placed him on a clean, shiny plate. What a handsome plate, Arnie said to himself. I'm not crazy about the design and prefer a more modern look, but it's nothing a little paint can't fix. Mr. Bing gently lifted Arnie from his new plate. Isn't that cute? Thought Arnie as he closed his eyes and smiled. He wants to hold me. As Arnie relaxed in Mr. Bing's hand, he felt himself moving higher and higher away from his plate. When he opened his eyes to see where he was going, he discovered that he was headed straight for Mr. Pink's open mouth. "What are you doing?" shouted Arnie. Mr. Pink was stunned. He dropped Arnie back onto the plate. "I was going to eat you," he replied in shock. "Eat me?" Arnie shrieked, his sprinkles flying everywhere. "Why would you do like that? Do you make a habit of eating all your house guests?" "No, of course not. But so why then did it suddenly occur to you eat me?" "Well, because you're a doughnut." "That's what doughnuts are for, to eat." "Do you mean to tell me you've done this before?" "Yes, I eat a doughnut every day," Mr. Pink said cheerfully. Arnie froze. He felt sick and frightened. "I better get out of here before he tries to eat me again. And angry, my friends have probably all been eaten." He thought to himself for a moment. "I must put a stop to this right away. I will call the bakery and warn the two others, whoever's left this is." Arnie knew that there was no time to waste and that he needed to be very sneaky. He turned to Mr. Ping and said in twist, "Excuse me, sir, but I don't believe we've been properly introduced. My name is Arnie." "Oh, hello, Arnie," Mr. Ping stammered. "I'm Mr. Pig. It's nice to eat you. I mean, meet you." "Mr. Ping, would you be a dear and allow to me use your cell phone?" Arnie asked extra politely. "Oh, well, okay," said Mr. Pig, and he handed Arnie the phone. As quickly as he could, Arnie dialed the number of the bakery. "Downtown Bakery, home of the best, Mr. Baker Man," Arnie frantically whispered. "This is Arnie the Doughnut. Do you remember me? You made me 5 o'clock 15 minutes this morning, and I was bowed away 20 minutes ago by a man who goes by the name of B." "Yes, Arnie," the baker answered. "What can I do for you?" Now, I don't want to alarm you, but just moments ago, that man tried to eat me, and not only that, he claims to have eaten hundreds of us. I'm going to make a run for it, but I wanted to warn so that if you see him, oh my Arnie, I thought you understood. That's why I may make donuts for people to eat." "Oh my Arnie. Oh my Arnie, I thought you. Oh, sorry. I can't believe it. I can't believe it." Arnie gasped. "Are the other donuts aware of this arrangement?" Well, I think so," the baker said. "Let me ask them to make sure." The baker yelled to the other donuts, "Do you donuts know that you're going to be eaten?" "Yes, we know," the donuts shouted back. "We are delicious. We don't blame them." He heard all he needed to hear. Arnie forgot all about his plan to escape. He collapsed back onto the plate, glanced up at Mr. Bean. "All right then, let's get this over with. Go ahead and eat me." Mr. Bean glanced down at Arnie. "I'm not going to eat you, Arnie," he said. "I just wouldn't feel right now." "Really?" Arnie said with a huge sigh of relief. Well, I'm glad to see that you've come to senses. But since I'm not going to eat you, Mr. Bean continued, I have to figure out something else to do with you. I paid good money for you. I don't want to be wasteful. Of course not, Ernie agreed. What we need to do is each make a list of things I can do with you instead. Between the two of us, I know we will come. Good plan, Mr. Bean, Arnie said. This will be a breeze. I bet I'm good at lots of stuff. Then they both wrote down their ideas. When they were finished, Mr. Bang said, Would you like to read your first? Sure thing, Mr. Big, Arnie answered. Things Mr. Big can do with me instead of eating me is... Do you need a ballroom dance partner? No, I don't dance. Do you use a personal fitness trainer? I'd get too sweaty. How about a portrait? No, heavens no. Would you like to me entertain your person? Donuts make my brown eyes blue. I don't like throwing parties. I could be your chef, but you can't see over the steering wheel. I'd make a good bodyguard. Who could you protect someone? All right, Mr. B. Let's hear what you came up with. Okie dokie, he replied. I just know you will like some of these things I can do with Arnie instead of eating him. I could use him polished. No, too painful. How about an air freshener for my hair? How about not? Would you like to be a picture frame? I can't image so. I need a new bowling ball. Well, don't look at me. You'd make a fine pair of spray. Boring. What about a door shop? Try again. But there was nothing else on Mr. Big's list. They were both completely out of ideas. Arnie and Mr. Big were exhausted. They felt terribly disappointed. After a few minutes of endless silence, Mr. Big finally spoke. I'm sorry, Arnie, but it's clear that we can't agree on anything for you to do around here. It's difficult for me to say, but I think it would be best if you found another home. I know, said Arnie, fighting back tears. I will just be on my way then. Is it all right if I keep this napkin to pack up all my loose sprinkles? Of course, Mr. Bean replied sadly. As soon as I get a job, I will pay back the money you spent on me. Then nurseringly, Arnie shook Mr. Bean's hand and thanked him for his kindness. Mr. Big opened the door, and as Arnie left, he paused and said, I guess donuts really are only good for eating, aren't they? They both waved goodbye and Arnie was gone. He walked past flower beds, the mailboxes, and the apartment manager's office. He passed the tennis court. Oh my gosh, is that a donut? But when Mr. Big reached No Dogs Allowed sign at the end of the doorway, Mr. Big suddenly came up with his new idea. Arnie, wait, Arnie, yelled Mr. Bean as he ran after him. Keep talking, big guy. And you could never have one because they're not allowed to hear. Would you like to take... But there's no sign that says no donuts. Arnie packed up. He realized that Mr. Bean had an idea. Would you like to take walks and play fetch? Mr. Bean asked excitedly. You bet I do. Can you do tricks like rolling over? Look at me. I was making it over. Well then, there's only one left to ask. Arnie, will you be my donut dog? Oh, Mr. Big, I would love to be your donut dog. Orf, orf. Oh, he went through a short phase of chewing off furniture and barking at the mailman. But after a course in Upton School, he graduated. Everywhere the two of them went, people would stop to pet Arnie. No one had ever seen a donut dog before. Oh, what a darling man! What a darling dog! Arnie was the best pet Mr. Bean could ever have hoped for, and Mr. Bean was Arnie's best friend. Bye!